Invictus, my kings, welcome back to the Napoleon Total War, the Great War Mod France campaign playthrough. And we are I just negotiated a military access pact, whatever you want to call it, with Denmark, so we can sweep through the north over to Mecklenburg. We can start our march towards the northern... airplane detected. Okay, the Germans are bringing out the big bombers, I see, but we are about to march on Mecklenburg. The Germans have, over the period that I wasn't recording, they have sent some armies over here towards Hanover. I have begun the process of transforming my armies into more modern versions, so we have later versions of infantry, not just early infantry, which got absolutely hammered. Got hammered in the last part, as we saw. I'm also sending an army here over to Prague, Bohemia. We have some new infantry, mostly old infantry, some Americans, even 1st Army Division Infantry Battalion. Very interesting. We'll see what the Austrians do. I think they still have early infantry mostly. So the armies really shouldn't run into too much trouble, but I do have I am planning to build some reinforcements, obviously, of infantry battalions that can be sent towards the towards the front line, so that we are nice and reinforced everywhere. Even in Paris, let's build some infantry battalions so that we can send them to the front line. We are mass recruiting on the offensive, and we can see that the Germans still have quite a lot of armies around, and it's going to be a little bit of a pain to really thoroughly deal with them. Or we can send a spy plane up north to see what's going on. And where is my other spy plane? I forget. Here it is, near Mecklenburg. So let's see if they have anything in Berlin. And obviously they do have another massive army, heavy field gun and some machine guns over here in Berlin. They have quite a hefty amount of units over here. They are really rebuilding. In the first part, we managed to do quite a lot of damage to them, but it seems like they have recuperated quite well. The Russians haven't progressed past Königsberg. Hungary for a little while fell to Serbia, of all people, but then Germany retook it. Serbia has been pushed back to Constantinople. Romania, I don't think, is in the war yet. No, it's not. However, let's actually trade with the Serbs. Yes. However, Greece also not in the war. So the Central Powers are now fighting. Well, they're fighting in all fronts, obviously. But the British haven't done anything this campaign. It seems like it's all us. We have pushed Germany halfway to Berlin. We are almost there. We are at the gates of Brandenburg, realistically speaking. So hopefully the Germans don't pull out another 10 full stack armies, and so that we can concentrate our effort on first capturing Mecklenburg, then reinforcing those armies from over here in Hanover. Got another researcher. Very cool indeed. But let's start the process of capturing Mecklenburg. We can demand surrender. However, I would rather just crush the army. Military occupation, very nice. And it seems like we should maybe do a little bit of a pincer. Let's see, there's a bunch of armies around Prague. However, we should win. There we go, victory. And then let's liberate the Czech Republic, or Czechoslovakia, the first Czechoslovak Republic. There we go. So we have another protectorate. All this really does is it blocks off the Germans and the Austrians from being able to support each other. And I don't think they'll declare war on... they're unfriendly towards us, even though we... Why are they unfriendly? Historical grievances. Very interesting. Very interesting. Even though we just liberated them, they are unhappy. Now that's not very nice of them, but what can you do? You can't please everyone, eh? It's not that kind of planet. So there we go. We can reinforce this super heavy siege howitzer. Now that's something. Sure, let's just get rid of one of the early infantries and let's reinforce our guys with a super heavy siege howitzer. Now that's something. The First Czechoslovak Republic, there we go. Now, where do we go with these three armies? I think we might, can we actually march up to Saxony? We can, however, there's a bunch of Germans there, but if we position ourselves over here, we might be able to strike at Saxony from there. These two armies can go up and reinforce Mecklenburg, and then these two armies, I think we might want to reinforce Mecklenburg actually with all of them, reinforce the north and then go with all of them towards Berlin and have one massive final, well, it's not going to be the final fight, but it's going to be a big fight for Berlin. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's see how we could also just march from here to here. Yeah, I think this is also going to be quite worthwhile. And what we have, just some early infantry, so let's recruit some newer. And these armies over here in Mecklenburg, they just fought for a little while, can then march south towards Berlin. These guys march north towards Berlin. We're gonna surround Berlin from all sides, have one massive battle. I don't see any other German armies really in the vicinity. Let me just briefly check. No, it seems like all they have is the full stack in Berlin. Then there's a full stack over here. Oh, there's another full stack, another almost full stack over here, another one in Silesia. Who knows what they have in Poland and Danzig. Yeah, the Germans still have quite a lot of fight to give, so let's get to fighting. Airplane shot down, how very sad, but it seems like we shot down one of their airplanes. Very interesting, well, whatever. What do we have? Some research. Recruitment. Oh, one of is this bailed on being shot down by our men? Okay, so the enemy actually retreated from Berlin. Very interesting. So now we can move in, auto resolve the fight, and can we liberate? No, we can only military occupy. Very sad, but we have captured Berlin. Yay, there we go. Berlin is ours. Very anticlimactic. Was hoping for a massive battle, but hey, it didn't happen, so let's stand near the bridges to maybe force an engagement, possibly. We have Magdeburg as another, what's it, advanced artillery. Okay, there we go. Well, we have captured Berlin. Berlin is ours, very easy. However, it seems like the German army is amassing over here near Saxony, and we also have our units over here, but not entirely sure how this is going to pan out. Let's actually check Danzig, if they have anything over here near Danzig. Yes, they do. Of course they do. So let's check Warsaw next turn. We'll check what they have in Warsaw. Danzig, another full stack. Erich Ludendorff is actually in Danzig. I can't see any Russian armies though. Very, very interesting to see that. I would have thought that the Russians would have pushed a little further. They have also captured Galicia. And the Italians did capture Innsbruck, as I think I said last time. But Vienna, I guess it's out in the open, or almost Moravia. Could maybe go for Moravia. But here, I sort of want to use these three armies as sort of a pounce, sort of when the enemy is a little distracted or a little weak, we pounce with these three armies on them, like maybe a 3-1 advantage against one of these armies that's over here. Recuperating, we'll just have to see what the enemy brings against us, obviously. I think they're probably going to destroy all of these minor towns, obviously, over here. And well, that's just something we're gonna have to live with, but we'll see. They still have quite a lot of force left, so let's see what the Germans are up to. See, this is the type of situation I was waiting for. We could maybe grab one of this. Let's auto resolve defeat. Very unfortunate, but doesn't matter. We can send in another one. Auto resolve. There we go. Victory. So we managed to grab a little bit of a victory over here. This army got a little trounced, but it's completely fine. We only lost 2 units, and the next turn these armies can head towards Saxony. I think what we might want to do with all of these armies is actually, well, we're gonna have to. Berlin has fallen. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all she's left. There we go. The Reichstag has been captured. Letter of demands, Brandenburg. We're probably gonna have to see off a massive rebellion here in Berlin. It's completely normal in these games. And then maybe push the center, maybe push these armies here, blocking our path eastwards. We're gonna have to push them back. These 3 armies over here on the border with the Czechoslovak Republic, gonna go for a Saxony, so these 3 armies can pounce on Dresden. Gonna have to see off a rebellion, then maybe capture Pomerania. Ultimately, a massive offensive towards Silesia is going to be in the cards. It's really all we can hope for is to amass enough troops that we can shove the Germans out of the way, and then Warsaw, Danzig, and Hungary, but that's Austria. So yeah, we can also go for the Austria, Vienna, Moravia, and Hungary. It's sort of the last offensive that we're gonna do as France. But what I really want to do is dismantle Germany, make Germany not exist anymore. The German army actually boldly marched right up to our guys, so let's make use of it. Why not? We can just sort of do something like this. And for some reason they have a massive advantage, so let's see. Let's quickly quick save, and then let's victory. Obviously it's a victory. I don't know what the game was giving me such mixed messages about how the game is going to come, about the outcome of the battle. I don't really understand it, but let's go against Saxony over here. Continue sieging, and then let's pull up with all of our guys like so. And let's see, do we win this fight or not? I think, I don't actually know. They have some home guard, infantry. They do have a lot of artillery, but we have an advantage, definite advantage when it comes to infantry. So let's quick save, and let's see. All right, here we are on the battlefield. So let's see how well we do. We have a little bit of we have some artillery over here, so let's just unlimber them, let them fire at will. They have obviously set to shrapnel shot. That should be fine. Let's mass our infantry, and let's actually see where the enemy reinforcements will come, because that's something that's relatively important. We also have some cavalry over here. It's going to be this cavalry can actually go over there. This cavalry can stay over here. And let's start the battle. And where are the enemy reinforcements coming from? Over there. That's where we want to deploy a majority of our units. Then that's where we want to head towards. Want to meet the enemy infantry and grind them down a fair bit, actually. The artillery is already taking note and is targeting the enemy general, which is actually very smart of them to do. Want to get rid of the enemy general as well. It looks like the enemy reinforcements are coming in a little slowly, so that gives us a massive advantage in terms of how we should deploy ourselves. Let's send the cavalry in as well. We can use this other artillery unit, cavalry unit more rather, to there we go, doing some massive damage to the enemy cavalry. That's completely nice. Is the enemy general out of line? Here he is. See, these are some regular infantry divisions that the Germans have. I really want to get as close, not as close, but I want to do as much damage to the reinforcing armies before they have a chance to really do anything. So let's get nice and close to them. The rest of our army can present a front line like so, and this should be good. These guys can go like so into the forest, and we should have a definite well, we probably won't have an advantage. As I said, these armies still are the early infantry battalions, and the Germans are the majority of this army is using the late or the regular infantry battalions. So we are a little bit at a disadvantage here, technologically speaking. We do outnumber the Germans, however. We have a lot of armies that are reinforcing. Let's actually go in. They went in for a melee charge. Let's see. We do have some cavalry over here, but it would be better to see them off. There we go. We saw the German cavalry off. And let's quickly, very quickly redeploy. These guys should run. So very quickly redeploy so that we can face the Germans head on. They have a lot of cavalry, but I think we should be able to do some nice damage to them. We have our lancers over here. Let's target their artillery that's over here, and we should be. Why aren't these guys firing yet? There we go. There we go. We're firing. Start the massacre. Come on, we have to do a lot of damage to these Germans right in here. It's crucial that we capture Saxony relatively intact. We are doing some damage over here to these home guards. They haven't really started firing back yet. Completely forgot that I had a battalion of horses over here, but you see our cavalry charge against the artillery going well, relatively speaking. These dudes can pull up a little further to the front. This charge mostly just to slow them down, possibly to make them drop their artillery. It'd be better for us, obviously, if the enemy isn't firing against us at all. That would be for the best, but we'll just have to see. We might want to go for the general, actually, since we are in range. This cavalry unit's probably going to die, but we could get their general. That would be very cool. We could get their general unit. That would be absolutely amazing if we could have a decisive blow against them like that. These guys should start running. Why aren't you running? It's one of the. There we go. Their general is dead. That should do some nice morale shock against them. These guys can pull back. We'll use them for some hammer and anvil strikes. This cavalry unit has to be sacrificed. Sorry to say, but it's for the greater good, obviously. These guys can pull up like so. And now we have a clear shot against the German. Both their artillery. We have a clear shot against the infantry that's going to be coming in. It's going to be cool. Here we have a front line presenting against the Germans. This should be a relatively decent fight. What do they have here? Some home guards. They might be going for our general, so let's just move him like so. Let's see, what about the other? And still, the general still somehow survives. So that's a little bit curious. Oh, we sent an infantry battalion packing. Very cool. Very cool. We are repulsing the reinforcements that are coming in for the Germans. This is not the most fortunate of positions, though. So let's move up a little bit to the front, like so. And we are actually managing to do some serious damage to the Germans. I really didn't think we would be able to. After the last battle where our guys got completely trounced, I sort of lost a lot of confidence in these early infantry battalions, but we are managing to do some serious damage. It looks like the issue wasn't so much with, there we go, One of our reinforcing generals has come forth. The issue wasn't too much with our infantry. It was mostly tactical issues, as well as the machine guns that the enemy had and all of that stuff. But we are actually managing to do some relatively decent damage to the Germans. Sure, they have a lot of Landsturm. Let's see actually how the Home Guard looks. Now, they have a lot of fancy hats, I'll give you that, but these are basically just civilians or policemen and stuff like that that have been sent to fight. Why aren't our guys tearing theirs apart? They have Shesas, Alpinas. Our unit should be completely tearing them to smithereens, but it's not really happening. Here we go, we sent another unit packing, and so it looks like this battle is in the bag. Let's actually see how long one of these reinforcing guys lasts when all of our guys open fire. Ooh, it's not looking good. Yeah, we're abusing the system of Napoleon Total War reinforcements and how that obviously works. But as you can see, there's a lot of Germans over here resting the eternal rest, as you can see. So this, well, we can abuse the system every once in a while. Let me just put it that way. We can abuse the system every once in a while. It's not as if it's the end of the world. But there we go. It looks like the German army actually is routing. And all that's left for the Germans is this reinforcing army. Yeah, that's all that's left. So I think we'll just sit here and do our thing until none of them are left, basically. Let's see how long these guys last. Absolutely devastated, and this is gonna just happen over and over again. So I'll come back to you when the battle's over. There we go. It's a victory. Easy. We managed to win even with a lot of technological stuff going against us. With a massive technological disadvantage, we still managed to win. There we go. Okay, we lost 2,123. The enemy lost 6,499. The German army has been repulsed. Saxony is ours. Dresden obviously is ours. Managing to push back the Germans step by step. Each step we take, we manage to push back the Germans a little bit. I think in this part, the last course of action that I want to take is to dismantle this army and to take Pomerania, and that's going to be it for this part, kings. Here we go. There is German Empire. Here we go. German revolutionaries. Now, what do they have? They have a lot of really good units. This is what I was afraid of. Lots of German revolutionaries. This is going to be a pain to deal with. This is going to be a massive headache to deal with. Lots of German armies popping out of nowhere. Oof. Could we get peace with the German Empire? That would be for the best. No. This is going to be a massive headache to deal with. Lots of German armies around. Gonna have to bring at least a 2 to 3 to 1 advantage against these fellas. Otherwise, we're gonna get murked. But let's just start off with it. Probably not gonna go for Pomerania now. We're gonna have to clean up these German revolutionary armies. These 3 armies are gonna be the designated revolutionary stomping force, because the Germans obviously spawned with full stack armies of the best infantry, the best artillery, lots of the best stuff that they have, and it's going to be a lot of pain to deal with, as per usual. So let's take out our anger on this small little army, and it retreated. Very nice. Yeah, so it seems like in the next couple of parts, we're probably just gonna be dealing with these revolutionaries, it seems. Whoa, and one of their armies went straight for Berlin. That's not gonna work, at least I don't think so. Yeah, that one of them is dealt with, I guess. Airplane or army detected, as per usual. This army can go like... This army can go there, and this army... I hate that your own armies can block your path. That's one thing that I never really liked about Napoleon Total War. Here we go. Well, they spawn in with the best stuff, obviously. Why wouldn't they? So let's use a massive numerical advantage to stomp them out. There we go. We're gonna have to go one by one, deal with them in massive numerical no, overwhelm them numerically because they spawned in with lots of chevrons, obviously, with some of the best units that they have. It's yeah, it's quite interesting. The game thinks that this is reasonable for some reason. I guess this is sort of a comeback mechanism if you ever get to this point where you just own the enemy capital. The game is sort of trying to balance it out by making it relatively difficult for you to advance further. But anyway, there's still 2 armies left, so over the break, I'll just deal with them, and in the next part, we'll march on to Pomerania, Silesia, Danzig, Warsaw, maybe. Oh, Vienna is actually under siege, probably by the Italians, if I had to guess. So the Italians, it seems, are going after Vienna. Might go after Hungary as well. We'll see. Just to probably liberate Hungary, just to deal with the just to the final defeat of the German Empire. Just we see that sweet pop-up of German Empire, nation destroyed. That's what we're going for over here. But anyway, thanks, Kings, for watching, and I will see you next time.